So in this video, I'm going to show you few of the functions that you might find very useful while working with strings in Python. So hey guys, this is Bishwet. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's get started. So this time I have listed out few of the functionalities that I'm going to show you. The reason is very obvious. There are like four, six functions. Okay, I wrote it down so that I cover all of it. I don't skip any one of it. So let's take the first one. By the way, I hope you have started your Jupyter notebook. You have set it up. Everything is done. If you have not, I do highly recommend you to get it set it up. I have a video made for this. Okay. So the first function that I'm going to show you is alpha. So it stands for is alphabet. Okay. So let me comment this out and let me show you how it works. So generally it checks whether your string consists of only letters or not. Can be capital, can be small, does not matter. Okay. So let's suppose we have something called as, let's suppose my name, Vishwajit. Okay. Dot is alpha. Is alpha. Okay. By the way, just press tab so it will give you suggestions. So that's what I did, and it popped up with a small menu. So if I do shift enter, you can see it's saying true. Okay. So does not matter whether I have a capital letter or a small letter, it will return me true. Let's check with Bob. Okay, Bob. Now if I do shift enter, it's still true, right? Maybe something called as maybe apple. Okay, with everything as small. Now if I do shift and enter, it returns true. So everything is fine. So the moment if I add a space and if I do shift and enter, it returns false because space is not an alphanumeric. I should say space is not an alphabet. Okay, it's not an alphabet. So now if I type some numbers 1, 2, 3, and if I do shift and enter, it's still false because 1, 2, 3 are numeric, right? We are only checking for alphabets. So using this function, you can check for alphabets. Okay, pretty handy. You don't have to type a loop and check for A to Z, Z or capital A to Z. Okay, so you can use this particular functionality. So now we will take a look at the second function, which is called as is_alnum, which stands for is alphanumeric. Previously it was is alphabet. Okay, now we are checking for is alphanumeric. So I'll comment this out. Okay, so it's pretty the same thing. We are only adding numbers to alphabets. Okay, by what I mean by that is now we are checking for like now we can check for alphabets and also numbers. We can consider both of them. Let's see an example. So if I type my name dot is alnum, okay, it should give me true, which it gave. Well and good. Now if I type my name 1, 2, 3, it still give me true, right? Because my name has all the letters, all the alphabets, and here 1, 2, 3 has all the numbers, so it works just fine. So just for few things clarified, I can give number over here, it will still work. Okay, I can give number in between. Okay, yeah, this will still be valid, right? Because this content consists of only letters and numbers, right? So it's true, pretty simple. So now if I add a space to it and if I do shift enter, now it's false because space is not an alphabet and it's not a number. Okay, so that's it. Now if I give a question mark, it will still be false. If I give a full stop, it will be still be false. Any kind of symbol is not an alphabet and a number, right? So it will be false. Pretty simple. Now the next thing that I will show you is space. Okay, let me comment this now. So if I give my name and I say is space, okay, it says is false, right? because my name is not a space, right? It doesn't have a space. I mean, it's not a space mainly. Okay, there is no space over here. If there was a space, okay, let's see what happens. It is still false because this only checks for spaces. Here we have alphabets and a space. Okay, alphabets are not allowed in this particular check. Okay, so if we give alphabets or numbers, it will give us false because it's not allowed. It checks for space. So if I pass only space over here, now if I do shift enter, it returns true. Well and good. Now if I give slash n, okay, if I do shift enter, it still returns true because space is allowed, slash n is allowed. If I give slash t, it still returns true because slash t, which is the tab character, it's also allowed, right? But numbers, if I give, it's not allowed. Anything that has space in between, after, before, it's not allowed. It will give us false. So is space checks for only spaces. Fine, pretty simple, right? So the next one is title. Now, I have not used is title that much, but I'll show you what it does. So I'll comment this out. So generally, is title is used to check the first letter of each word in a sentence are capitalized or not. Okay. So let's take this example. Today is a sunny day. Okay. Now if I do title, okay, so it says, what does it say? I mean, I should type is title. Yeah, so it says false because this is one word. This is capitalized. The first letter is capitalized. This is another word, but the first letter is not capitalized. Okay, this is another word. The first letter is not capitalized. Okay, so if you make this as capitalize, 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 and capitalize dot is title, then it returns true. Okay, so just make sure, does not matter whether you have symbols or spaces, right? Even if you have numbers, okay, it won't matter. Fine, just make sure all the words that you are having, the first letter should be capitalized. Okay, what happens if I put a number over here? Let's say, let's check. Okay, it's true because number is allowed. Okay, what if I put another number over here? It's still true. Yeah, these are a little bit I should say things that you should take care of. Okay, but if I put I small over here, it should give me false, and see, it is false, right? So the trick part is you should make sure that all the words, okay, all the words, the first letter should be capitalized. Okay, now here 8 can't be capitalized, right? So it will check for the next letter that you have. So t is a alphabet, right? So it will check whether it is capitalized or not. Just wanted to add a small explanation to the isTitle function. So there is something that came to my radar. So for example, like if I just say today is, this is true, this is a valid title case. If I give is small, this is false, which is completely valid. Okay, I'll revert that back to today is. Now if I add a 9 before it, it does not matter, it is true. If I add a 9 later to it, it is false. Okay, so the first character is T, which is caps, but we are getting output as false. So just make sure that I mean, if there is something, some letters between the numbers, okay, it might not behave as you expect to behave. So maybe the next alphabet is O. So if I make O as caps, so now it is true. Okay, so I don't think you will use title case much, but if you do, just take care of this. Okay, so I hope this explains the is title. I have not used is title that much. Just wanted to show you. Fine. The next is something which is very strange. I mean, I don't know whether I should call it as strange or not. I have never used this function. I didn't even know that there is a function called as isIdentifier. When I was searching for all the string functions, I came to know that okay, there is a function called as isIdentifier. And you know what it does? Let me comment this out. Let me type or let me type my name. Dot is identifier. Okay, it says true. But what if I type 123, it will tell me false. Okay, but what if I give a space and if I do shift enter, it is still false. But what if I give underscore, it is true. Okay, now I will tell you what it actually does. So isIdentifier checks whether you are having that variable naming convention or not. So in Python, you are having that variable naming convention, right? So variables should not start with numbers. They should not have spaces in between them, right? They should not have special character in between them. So for example, if I give at the rate, it should give me false because in variables at the rate is not allowed. So this particular check what it says whether this particular string qualifies for a variable name or not. Okay, pretty simple, I guess. So anything that we use as a variable, maybe var, it will be true. Variable, it will be true. Maybe tree, it will be true. Maybe string underscore one, it is true because these are all qualify for a variable. But we can't have a variable like this string space one, right? Because that doesn't make any sense, right? Even if we verify that, let's suppose if I give string space one, it gives us an error, right? Because it doesn't know what this is. But if we give string underscore one, okay, now it is saying it is giving us a different error. It says that this is not defined. Okay, just to make it more clear. Okay, I will say this as integer underscore one equal to one. Now this is fine, right? But we can't give a space over here. This will say invalid syntax because this is not allowed. If I copy this integer and paste it over here, it should give us false. Fine. But if I give it an underscore one, it should give us true because this is a valid variable name. So that is something I wanted to share that, okay, this is there. Even I didn't know. Is printable is something even I have never used it. I have never heard about it. But while searching for these functions, I came to know that is printable is there. So I thought, okay, it looks a little bit interesting. So why not show you what it does? So is printable, what it does, it checks whether a particular value is printable or not, whether you can print it or not, right? Little bit tricky to understand, but I will share little bit knowledge. For example, if I do is printable, okay, now it returns true. I have passed nothing, so I have open and closed quotes. Dot is printable. It returns true. There is nothing to print, but it says that it's printable. Fine. But if I do my name, it will still tell true because my name is printable. Actually, for this case, why it is saying printable, because it is actually a valid string. The string length is none. There is nothing inside of it, but it is actually printable, right? What is not printable, I will show you that. For example, if I give /n, that is not printable, right? So for example, if I do Bishwajit /n BSK, so if I just do this, okay, if I just print it, see, my name is being printed, Bishwajit is being printed, okay, /n is not printed, right? slash n, what it does, it changes into a different line, right? So then my BCBASK, my surname is being printed, right? So this is not printable. So if I pass this to here, it will still give us a false because slash n is not printable. But if I remove the slash n, it will say true because my whole name is printable. There is no special characters. Likewise, if I give slash t, now see, it also says false because slash t is not printable. Okay. For example, if I do slash t over here, you can see it just puts a space, just puts a tab over here, but we can't see slash t as a character present over here. So that's the reason it's saying false for is printable, right? So I don't think he will use is identifier or is printable that much. I'm not sure. I have not seen this, but definitely is alpha, is alnum, even is space. You can use it generally for space checking. I just generally do like this: if character equal to space, okay, and we do perform something. This is what I do, but yeah, just good to know that there is a function which also does that, right? So that's all for this video. There are a few more functions that I will cover in the upcoming videos. So if you like this video, do press that like button, and I'll see you in an awesome upcoming